Hi guys, so this is my take on what if Anakin didn't kill Count Dooku in episode 3. A lot could have happened, and especially after Dooku heard Palpatine say, "Do it." I think he had feelings that he was regretful and he had remorse, and I think he just wanted Anakin to talk to him, but instead Anakin still killed him. So what if he didn't kill him? What would have happened then? So this is my theory on that, and I hope you really like it, and please like and subscribe. Like the video, it really helps the channel. Please do like it and subscribe as well, and I hope to see you soon. May the Force be with you. We're at the same point as we are in episode 3. Anakin has Dooku on his knees. Dooku looks at him helplessly. "Do it," says Palpatine. His words pierce the silence. Anakin resists. "That's not the Jedi way. I shouldn't." And then Palpatine repeats, harsher this time, "Do it." But here, instead of killing Dooku, Anakin turns the saber off. A sharp hiss. Dooku feels relieved. Anakin senses it in the Force, and then it starts. Dooku speaks, feeling betrayed. He tells Anakin, "Skywalker, this man is a Sith Lord. I told Kenobi years ago and he didn't listen." Palpatine protests while restrained, his voice rising with theatrical disbelief. "This is blasphemy. This man will say anything. He's a manipulator, Anakin. He'll say any preposterous thing to get out of facing justice." "Justice?" questions Dooku, almost laughing. "Master, you've been behind this war. Surely you're not foolish enough to make us believe I'll get a fair trial." Palpatine's eyes twitch, a flicker of anger behind the mask. Anakin looks confused, but something cold starts to stir. Doubt, distrust. "Do you remember the Tusken Raiders?" Dooku's voice drops. "And your mother, Anakin." Anakin freezes. A pulse, a flash, a memory. Shmeen chains in pain. His fists clench. He turns to Dooku, eyes wide with rage. "It was you." Dooku's tone softens. "My boy, my master had plans to kill your mother." The fury nearly bursts out of Anakin. His lightsaber hilt shakes in his grip. He turns to Palpatine. Palpatine holds his gaze, calm but strained. This man is delusional. And Anakin, you insult your friend by even entertaining this idea." Dooku studies him carefully. Palpatine wasn't cracking. Not yet. He plays his last card. "Master, will you tell Skywalker of Order 66? Palpatine stiffens. His lips part just slightly. The words die in his throat. Anakin blinks. "Chancellor, what is he talking about? What is this order?" Palpatine's voice is quieter now. There is no such thing." And then there's a crack. A sharp noise cuts the tension. A fine fracture splits across the transparent steel window behind them. A high-pitched hum begins, barely audible. The hair on Anakin's neck rises. Palpatine's fingers twitch. He looks at Anakin. "Anakin, we must leave, now!" Anakin hesitates, his heart pounding, but nods. He looks at Dooku. "This isn't over, Count." He frees Palpatine and pulls Dooku up, his grip firm, unmerciful. They move towards the door. As they move towards the door, Dooku's eyes linger on Palpatine, a bitter resolve hardening his features. In the Force, Anakin senses a flicker of something. Regret, perhaps, or wounded pride. Dooku's voice is low, almost a whisper, meant for Anakin alone. "Skywalker, I was once a Jedi, like you. I believed in my master's vision. Galaxy remade, free of corruption. But he used me, and he uses you now. My betrayal of him is not cowardice. It is clarity. I will not be his pawn any longer." Anakin's grip tightens on Dooku's arm, but the words linger, a seed of doubt planted deeper. Behind them, Obi-Wan groans. He's regaining consciousness. He looks at Anakin through half-lidded eyes. "You surprise me, Anakin. Master, we will take this criminal to justice." Anakin and Obi-Wan rescue Palpatine and capture Dooku. General Grievous intensifies his strikes on the Republic, but is pushed back and the Separatists escape to Utapau. Obi-Wan and Anakin bring forth Dooku in restraints. He is presented to the Council. Anakin tells the Council what Dooku had told him, about how he accused Palpatine of being a Sith Lord, about Order 66. Windu looks at his old friend and says, "And what is this order, Dooku?" Dooku explains the order to the Jedi. Palpatine knew this would happen, so he had to do something to stop it. He called an emergency session of the Senate. This is happening parallel to the Jedi Council meeting. Palpatine knows they'd be busy. He pleads to the Senate that the Jedi were behind the conflict. He says, "Yesterday, young Skywalker didn't kill Dooku. He saved his life. The same man who butchered hundreds of thousands on your worlds, and Anakin saved him. The Jedi are in cahoots, and as a former Jedi, Anakin and the Order had sympathy for the Count, so they saved him. And now he's in their possession, and not the Republic's." The Senate is being convinced. Palpatine is also using the dark side to sway them, a darker form of mind control. In the Senate chamber, Palpatine's voice carries a calculated edge as he addresses the senators, his hands clasped behind his back. "My friends, the Jedi's treachery runs deeper than you know. They have conspired with the Separatists, using this war to destabilize our Republic. Why else would Skywalker spare Dooku, a war criminal, if not to shield their own plans?" He pauses, letting the dark side weave through the minds of the senator, amplifying their fear and doubt. A hologram flickers to life beside him, showing forged evidence, altered transmissions suggesting Jedi collusion with Dooku. "There is no more rebellion." Palpatine continues, his tone grave. "It is a coup. Order 66 is our only defense against his betrayal. And I assure you, the Republic's ultimate weapon, battle station to ensure peace, nears completion, thanks to the tireless work of our engineers on Geonosis." The senators murmur, swayed by his words and the subtle pulse of his dark influence, unaware of the true purpose of the Death Star he hints at. He says that with the power given to him, he will execute Order 66 to end the Jedi treachery. And there he tells the Senate, "By the power vested in me by the Grand Republic, execute Order 66. Order 66 is executed. The order is transmitted to all clone frequencies. The inhibitor chips are activated. Good soldiers follow orders, good soldiers follow orders, some clones mutter. The Coruscant Guard is mobilized. The Council and Dooku feel a shift in the Force, a disturbance, as if thousands have suddenly lost their free will. Dooku speaks. "Oh, you feel it too. Sidious has executed Order 66. The clones must be on their way." Council feels it. The Jedi Council beacon lights up. Clones are approaching. Sidious knows that the Death Star needs to survive, and with two armies at his disposal, the Grand Army of the Republic and the Separatist Army, the Jedi are vastly outnumbered. They feel a commotion at the temple gates. The Council Jedi, Yoda, Mace Windu, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Kit Fisto, Shakti, Luminara Unduli, Ayla Secura, all give each other roles. Master Yoda says that Anakin and Obi-Wan, along with Master Plo Koon, will take Dooku to a hidden medical bay on Polis Massa. The rest of the Jedi will get to the younglings and remaining Jedi to safety. A team of the best fighters, Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, Depa Billaba, Aegon Kolar, and Saesee Tiin, prepare to hold the temple. Ki-Adi-Mundi is tasked to program the beacon to warn the Jedi not to return. The battle starts. Jedi begin to fall. But since they have numbers, they put up a fierce fight. Mace Windu and Yoda are slaying clones with their team. Then the Jedi are told the Separatists are invading as well. Droid gunships are outside, bombing the temple. Palpatine has called in General Grievous to strike. The Jedi are falling. They are tired. Yoda says, "If the Order is to survive, retreat we must." The remaining Jedi follow the Masters to the temple hangars, and they'll all go to Ahch-To. It's hidden and fairly unknown to the clones and Palpatine. As the Jedi flee to Ahch-To, Yoda's voice is solemn, his eyes distant. "To Ahch-To we go, a place of ancient power. First Jedi temple, hidden in the unknown regions, known only to a few. Safe from Sidious's eyes. It must be. Regroup and plan we will, to face this darkness." The Jedi's ships vanish into hyperspace, the coordinates of Ahch-To, a closely guarded secret, offering a fleeting hope of sanctuary. They will regroup there to plan their next move. Meanwhile, Anakin and Obi-Wan with Master Plo Koon have Dooku with them. He's been given medical care and mechanical stumps as his hands are too dangerous. Padme is with them. She came to see her husband with R2-D2 and C-3PO. Anakin tells Obi-Wan that they need all hands on deck for this. Obi-Wan looks at Count Dooku. That's not gonna be you, will it, Count? Dooku snarls. The Jedi arrogance is paying its price today. Anakin flares with rage. You talk about arrogance? You will pay for yours, Count. He pulls Obi-Wan aside. It's safe, Dooku is behind ray shields. Anakin tells Obi-Wan that they need to call Ahsoka. I have to look for her, but I'll find her. Anakin reaches out to Ventress, knowing she wants help Ahsoka. She answers Ahsoka is on the lower levels. Anakin finds a distraught Ahsoka. She asks about Rex. Obi-Wan tells her the truth. The clones have fallen. We're hunting the Jedi. Ahsoka, shocked, but agrees to help. Ventress does too. She smirks at Dooku's capture but sets aside her grudges. Now is not the time for old differences, now is the time to unite. Ahsoka's hands tremble as she grips her lightsabers, her voice steady but heavy with grief. Rex, he was my friend. If the clones are lost to us, I'll fight with honor. What he stood for what he believed, for before the betrayal, for before he was what he is now. For the Republic, for the Jedi, for hope. Ventress steps forward, her eyes narrowing at Dooku, but softening slightly. I have no love for the Jedi or for the Sith, but Sidious played us all, me, Dooku, even you, Skywalker. I'll fight for my own reasons, to see his empire of lies crumble. The resolve strengthens the group, a fragile alliance forged in the face of annihilation. Meanwhile, Palpatine declares in the Senate, all Force sensitives must be eliminated. They manipulate minds, they kidnap children, they walk among you as gods. No more. The Senate is horrified and persuaded. Order 66 is amended, and now it includes every Force-sensitive being in the galaxy. Palpatine also enacts Order 37. If the Jedi will not surrender, take hostages. Entire populations if needed. Let the people feel what the Jedi cost them. On Naboo and Alderaan, droids are sent to raise cities. On Naboo, the Viceroy is thrilled. I've waited years to see Naboo burn. Palpatine orders are clear. Destroy Naboo completely. Clones at Alderaan begin rounding up citizens. They execute civilians, and people are horrified. Padme and Bail Organa send word to the Jedi. They beg for their help, but the Council hesitates. They must stay hidden. Yoda speaks. Reveal ourselves to the Sith. We cannot. Not yet. Padme is disillusioned. Anakin senses her frustration. He confronts the Council. If the Jedi won't fight, then Padme and I will. He takes her, along with Ahsoka and Ventress, and they leave for Naboo. Obi-Wan pleads. He's the chosen one. We can't let him go. Yoda nods. He places Master Windu in charge of the survivors, and then Yoda, Obi-Wan, Plo Koon leave for Naboo. In a quiet moment before the broadcast, Obi-Wan questions Plo Koon about the Death Star's sudden appearance. How could it be operational so soon? Obi-Wan asks. Plo Koon's voice is grim. The Separatist foundries on Geonosis and Mustafar have been working in secret for years, fueled by Sidious's credits. We underestimated his foresight. This weapon, it was always his endgame. The revelation underscores the depth of Palpatine's planning, casting a darker shadow over their mission. At Naboo, General Grievous is wreaking havoc. The Jedi sneak into the Theed Palace with Padme. They begin a live broadcast. This is Padme Amidala. We're alive. Naboo is not alone. It's a beacon of hope. But Palpatine was ready. His spies had placed a tracker on Padme's ship. The Death Star moves into position. From his throne, Palpatine hisses, Tarkin, fire! Ahch-To, home to the Last Jedi, is obliterated. Mace Windu, Shakti, Kit Fisto, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Luminara, Ayla, all gone. The last true order, gone in a single beam. As the Death Star's beam consumes Ahch-To, the Force ripples with anguish. On Naboo, Yoda stumbles, clutching his chest, his eyes wide with sorrow.
Gone, the last of the Order, he whispers. Masters, younglings, their light extinguished.
Obi-Wan's face pales, his voice breaking. Mace, Kit, all of them. He sent them there to be safe. Anakin's jaw tightens, but he says nothing. His focus on Padme. Though a shadow of guilt flickers in his eyes, the loss of the Jedi Order hangs heavy, a wound in the Force felt by all. Anakin is devastated, but deep down he finds a selfish solace. Padme and the children, his children, are still safe, for now. But Naboo is being torn apart. The joint force of clones and droids are overwhelming. Obi-Wan and Yoda agree. To strike Palpatine's heart, they must take out General Grievous. Anakin, Obi-Wan and Yoda form a strike team. Padme, Ahsoka and the others take shelter in a safe house beneath the Theed Palace. That night, they board Grievous's flagship. The droid general is undergoing repairs, limbs being adjusted. The Jedi infiltrate. Grievous is interrupted, but ready. His Magna Guards stall the Jedi long enough for him to finish repairs. But they are no match. With the combined power of Yoda, Obi-Wan and Anakin, Grievous is overwhelmed. He loses his arm, tries to flee, but Palpatine had other plans. The Viceroys on the ship take off. They're all in orbit. The Death Star has also arrived. Anakin and the Jedi don't know it yet. They press forward. Grievous is cornered. Obi-Wan and Anakin destroy his remaining limbs. The air in the flagship's command chamber hums with an acrid stench of scorched metal and sparking circuits. Grievous, his mechanical form battered, staggers against a shattered console, his yellow eyes glaring with defiance. His remaining arms were clutching two stolen lightsabers, their green and blue blades flickering erratically. Obi-Wan and Anakin advance, their own sabers casting glow that dances across the dented Durasteel walls.
You cannot stop the inevitable.
Grievous grasps, his voice a guttural hiss through his damaged vocoder. He lunges, a whirlwind of blades, but his movements are sluggish, his servos grinding. Anakin parries with ferocious precision, severing one arm in a shower of sparks. Obi-Wan ducks under a wild swing, slicing through another limb, the metal clattering to the floor. Yoda, perched on a nearby ledge, narrows his eyes. The Force swirls around him, a quiet storm. He leaps, a green blur spinning through the air, his lightsaber a streak of emerald fire. The blade cuts deep into Grievous's chest, splitting his armor core. Sparks erupt, and the droid general's eyes flicker, then dim. As Grievous collapses, his mechanical body twitches once, then a lifeless heap of wires and steel. The silence that follows is heavy, broken only by the distant hum of a ship's failing systems.
To the surface we must go,
Yoda says.
In danger, our friends are.
The Jedi pause, their breaths heavy, sensing a tremor in the Force, a growing dread that coils like a shadow. Anakin's eyes dart to the viewport, where Naboo's vibrant blue-green orb hangs in the void, serene yet vulnerable. Obi-Wan grips his lightsaber tighter, his voice low. Something's wrong. I feel it. Yoda's ears droop, his gaze distant.
A darkness gathers above us.
High above, unnoticed, the Death Star silhouette looms, its dish glowing faintly as it aligns with Naboo. Aboard the station, Tarkin's cold voice echoes through the comms. Prepare to fire on my command. The weapon's core hums, a malevolent pulse that reverberates through the Force, unnoticed by the Jedi below. But then, a flash of green light, a rumble, a shockwave. Naboo is obliterated. The cries in the Force go silent. Padme, Ahsoka, the unborn children, gone. The viewport flares blinding green, the light searing through the chamber. A deafening rumble shakes the flagship, a shockwave rattling the hull and throwing the Jedi off balance. Anakin stumbles, clutching the console, his eyes fixed on the viewport as Naboo, lush, vibrant, Naboo disintegrates. The planet fractures, its oceans boiling into the void, cities reduced to glowing embers that fade into darkness. The Force screams a cacophony of anguish as millions of lives extinguish in an instant. Anakin's knees buckle, his lightsaber clattering to the floor. He reaches out through the Force, searching for Padme's light, Ahsoka's fire, a faint spark of his unborn children, but there is only silence, a void where their presence once burned. Padme, he whispers, his voice breaking, raw. His hands claw at the air as if he could pull her back from the abyss. Obi-Wan's face crumples, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. No, not them, not Naboo. He turns to Anakin, reaching out, but stops short, sensing the storm building within his friend. Yoda leans on his cane, his small frame trembling under the weight of the loss.
Lost they are, and with them hope fades.
His voice is barely audible, heavy with centuries of grief. As Anakin kneels, his mind fractures over the weight of loss. In the Force, he sees flashes. Padme's smile, Ahsoka's determined nod, and the unborn twins he'll never know. A voice within him, his own pleads. You're a Jedi. You can stop this, for them. But another voice, darker, rises. The Jedi failed them, and the Republic failed them. Only you can make this right. His hands shake, gripping his lightsaber. The yellow in his eyes pulses, warring with the blue. He whispers, barely audible, I can't lose them. Not again. A darker voice wins. The Force storm erupts, fueled by his anguish. As he rises, no longer just Anakin. Anakin falls to his knees, screaming. Then he changes. Anakin turns to rage. His eyes turn yellow. Yoda and Obi-Wan look at him. He ignites his lightsaber and begins destroying Separatist ship. Metal bends, walls collapse. This is the Chosen One. In full rage, Force storm crackles around him. Droids are shredded by invisible waves. Obi-Wan shouts over the carnage. My brother, they'll pay for their crimes. But please, please come back to us. Anakin turns, tears in his eyes. I'll take him now. But then he drops to his knees. He breaks down, weeping, inconsolable. He has lost everything, his mother, Padme, Ahsoka, the children. His eyes flicker. Yellow, blue, yellow. Between the dark and light, he wavers. Yoda watches. He senses something deeper. Anakin hadn't mourned the Jedi on Ahch-To, but this is different. He closes his eyes, feels the truth. The children were his. The pain is beyond loss. The Chosen One is broken. Anakin stands. His breathing grows heavier. Without warning, he force pushes Yoda and Obi-Wan across the chamber, slamming them into the walls. He storms off, eyes blazing gold. But the moment the fighter docks inside the Death Star, Anakin erupts. Clones, droids, troopers, officers, all obliterated, crashed, slammed into bulkheads. He moves like a storm. The Force is a weapon, and Anakin is its master. Palpatine stands at the hangar, waiting, laughing, cackling. Foolish boy. And now, at the end, do you realize that if I can't have you, no one will? Anakin bellows. You took them from me. You will pay. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan and Yoda are captured by another tractor beam, drawn into a separate hangar. Palpatine expected them to come. He descends, igniting two crimson lightsabers. Foolish boy, he screams from across the station. You will always be a slave. And like all slaves, you have no one. Anakin's rage breaks the air. He lifts clones and droids into the sky. They levitate, then twist, crumple and snap. Metal and bone crushed. Chosen One is no longer bound. This is not the Sith, this is not the Jedi, this is pure Force incarnate. The bodies twist in a spiraling orb of corpses and machinery, hovering above him. Lightning cracks the air. Anakin begins to levitate. Palpatine laughs. Yes, this is what I wanted. This is the power of the Sith. But then, Anakin keeps rising. Palpatine's grin fades. He hurls Force lightning, but to no avail. Anakin absorbs it. He sends a Force choke, but the Force refuses to obey. He throws both sabers. Anakin stops them in midair, turns them back. Anakin raises his hand. Palpatine begins to choke, lifted into the air. One saber flies into Palpatine's left hand, and the other one slices off his right hand. Palpatine is limbless from his own sabers. He screams. When his hands are gone, he screams more. Anakin spreads the orb of flesh and metal open, throws Palpatine inside. It closes around him. Palpatine screams, trapped in a prison made of his own soldiers and machines. Then Anakin lifts his hand. Purple lightning, the rarest, deadliest form, explodes from his palm. It tears into a ball. Palpatine's flesh melts, his bones sear, his voice cracking in agony. The stench of burning meat fills the chamber. He begs for death. Anakin stops. Killing him would be too easy. He lifts his hand again, more lightning, the orb crushes tightly. Yoda and Obi-Wan arrive. They stop, stunned. Anakin is floating, arms raised, an entire sphere of death surrounding him. Inside it, a limbless Palpatine screaming in pain. Obi-Wan's voice breaks. Anakin, please, this isn't you. I love you. Yoda turns to Obi-Wan, they lock eyes. He nods once. Yoda throws his lightsaber. It spins, fast, aimed not at Anakin, but at Sidious. Before Yoda's lightsaber strikes, Palpatine, even in his agony, summons a final burst of dark energy. His voice, strained but venomous, echoes through the Force. Skywalker, you think you won. The galaxy's mine. My allies in the Senate, my armies, they will hunt you down. You will never escape my shadow. He unleashes a weak but targeted Force wave, aiming to destabilize the orb and free himself. The sphere trembles with Anakin's powers hold it firm, his rage overpowering Palpatine's last gambit. It spins fast, aimed not at Anakin, but at Sidious, straight into his head. Yoda's lightsaber has made it to Sidious's skull. The screaming stops. The Dark Lord of the Sith is gone, shattered, broken, destroyed, along with the bodies of the clones and the droids now crushed and burning. Smoke coils from the mass of death that was once his throne. Obi-Wan turns to Anakin. His voice shakes. He was not yours to kill. Why did you kill him, Yoda? Obi-Wan steps closer, desperate, raw. You're my brother, Anakin. Please come back to me. Padme wouldn't have wanted this. Please return to us. Anakin turns. Don't speak her name. His grief becomes rage. He lifts the massive orb of corpses and wreckage and throws it at them. The ground quakes, the walls split. Anakin has truly lost it. Yoda and Obi-Wan stand side by side. They speak one last attempt to reach him. Obi-Wan. The Jedi loved you, Anakin. Padme loved you. Ahsoka loved you. This is not the way. I love you, Anakin. Yoda.
Right he is, young Skywalker. This is not the way of the Jedi.
Anakin's face warps. His features no longer resemble the man they knew. Who says I am a Jedi? He hisses. His voice is low, twisted. He is not man, not Sith, not Jedi. He is the Force unchained. No chains will hold me. The Force bends at my will. Light, dark, these are just two words to hide behind. They all let her die. They all failed her. And now they'll all pay. Every senator who stood by him, every world that pledged loyalty to Palpatine, all of them. He turns to Obi-Wan. If you're not with me, then you and Yoda are my enemy. Obi-Wan's face falls. You don't have to do this. The war is over. The Senate can rebuild. We can make it better. Anakin cuts him off. I hate them. He reaches into the rubble, pulls out the charred, broken corpse of Darth Sidious. Without emotion, he slams it onto the engine intake of a droid starfighter. Then, in silence, he climbs in. The engine roars to life. Flames burst from the thrusters, charring the last remains of the Emperor into ash. And Anakin Skywalker, what was left of him, takes off.